Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands. Today we continue with the new edition of Kill Team and we'll see Tyranids vs T'au Empire. As you may have noticed, there was an advertisement at the beginning of the video. This is because we have met the necessary requirements to start monetizing the channel. We wanted to thank you because we couldn't have made it in such a short time without your help. Anyway, I'm Simone and I'll play the T'au.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I'll be playing Tyranids. Before we started, if you are subscribed to the channel, welcome back. If you are not subscribed yet and want to help us, join our growing community now by clicking on the subscribe button. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys!
Today's mission is Consecration. The two armies will have to deploy within these 4 areas. There are 5 objectives and they are arranged in this way. The goal of this game is to consecrate the objectives.
Each consecrated objective controlled at the end of the turn will award 1 victory point. There will also be 3 secondary objectives each that will award points. Each player can score a maximum of 12 points from the primary objectives and a maximum of 2 points from each secondary objective, for a total of 6. The player with the most victory points is the winner. The game will last 4 turns. Both armies start with 2 common points, earning 1 point at the start of each turn.
Before introducing you to the kill teams, I want to advise you to watch the video until the end, because you will have the possibility to name one of the 5 teams belonging to the army that will win the game. And now, let's move on to the description of the armies. My T'au have found Tyranids' brood ground and must activate immediately to try and destroy them before they can produce new monsters, but their presence has been noticed and they have to move quickly. If you have watched the games on this channel, you might expect Gino and Pino, but that's Andrea's team. Mine is a different one. My kill team is composed by 2 fire teams. The first is led by a Shas'ui as leader. His name is Sushi. He is armed with a pulse carbine and a holographic readout as additional equipment. Then there is a Pathfinder heavy gunner armed with a ray rifle, a Markerlight and a Stimulant Injector. The other members of the fire team are 3 Pathfinders armed with pulse carbine and a Recon Drone. The second fire team has inside another Pathfinder heavy gunner armed with a ray rifle and a Markerlight, 3 Pathfinders armed with pulse carbine, a pulse accelerator drone and a grav inhibitor drone.
The Tyranid brood ground is in danger. Some T'au are trying to destroy their offspring and Tyranids don't like it when food roams freely. Go and secure your meal. My kill team is composed of 1 Tyranid warrior fire team and a Tyranid swarm fire team. The Tyranid warriors fire team includes 2 Tyranid warriors fighters armed with Lash whip and Bonesword and Boneswords. As additional equipment, they have acid maw and feeder Tendrils. Then there is the leader, who is armed with Deathspitter and Boneswords. As additional equipment, he has feeder Tendrils. The Tyranid swarm fire team includes 8 Hormagaunts armed with siding talons.
I have deployed the T'au so that I can cover as much field as possible and have clear line of sight. As for the orders, I chose Conceal for the drones without ranged weapons and Engage for the Recon Drone. All other Pathfinders have the Engage order.
I have deployed my Tyranids to match Simone's deployment. Since my army is almost entirely melee, I gave the Conceal order to all my Hormagaunts and the Engage to my warriors so as they can shoot.
It's time to do the scouting phase. Each of us chooses a number of dice equal to the corresponding number of the choice. 1 for Fortify, 2 for Infiltrate and 3 for Recon. Blue dice for T'au and red dice for Tyranids. I chose Recon while Andrea chose Fortify. Being the defender, I have to activate my choice of the scouting phase first, and I choose to move the Pathfinder to the center in the direction of the objectives. This will ensure that I can get to control at least one objective in the first round.
Fortify allows me to place an additional barricade within 6 inches of my deployment zone, and since the center of the battlefield is a little bit too open, I place it here.
I divided the 2 fire teams equally between the 2 drop zones in order to avoid being crushed on one side only. It will be important for me to try to control the battlefield with my firepower. Andrea's Conceal order keeps the Hormagaunts hidden from the T'au. This means that I will focus the fire on the warriors, trying to get as many victory points as possible for my secondary objectives. The first round will be very important. I will have the opportunity to take several objectives before the arrival of the Tyranids. Come on, Sushi, show them what T'au are made of.
I deployed my models in order to score the points of my attack ops more easily, and to try to take control of the majority of the objectives. Also, if I manage to crush one of the sides of the battlefield, I can easily win the game. Since my leader is the only one who has no range restrictions, I deployed him where he can see the most of the T'au. In this match, I think I will be able to score points starting from the second round. In the first one, I will limit myself to taking only the closest objectives. I will advance with all my Hormagaunts while keeping them in cover, to try to charge in the second round. Also, I will use them to hold my objectives and contest Simone's.
In the strategy phase, I use deploy Recon Sweep for a command point, which allows Pathfinders on the flanks of the lineup to take a free dash action. On the right flank, Ruiso approaches the objective in front of him. On the left flank, Tesla steps towards the wall.
I use the strategic ploy Stalk for a command point, which allows one friendly operative with a conceal order to perform a free normal movement if he has no enemy operatives within 3 inches. Then Tom moves behind the barricade.
In this phase, I reveal the T'au Ops Triangulate. My operatives acquire the Triangulate skill with the cost of 1 AP. An operative within 3 inches from an edge of the table, other than mine, can carry out the action. With 2 triangulated edges, I gain 1 victory point. With 3, I gain another.
I reveal my T'au Ops Challenge, which allows me to choose an enemy model and a friendly model. If my chosen operative eliminates the target, I gain 1 victory point. If it is within 6 inches when eliminated, I gain 2 victory points instead. I choose my warrior fighter Spike, and I choose this T'au as a target.
Having chosen Recon during the scouting phase, I have the initiative in the first turn. Forward, my brave T'au, glory awaits you! The movement made during the scouting phase put Najin in a position to reach the central objective well before the Tyranids. With a few quick gestures, the T'au consecrates the objective with an action. Only then he realized that behind the barrier there's an Hormagaunt hidden. Frightened, he quickly grabs the pulse carbine and fires on him. 4 shots on 4+. 2 hit.
After a few seconds of intense looks, Tom huddles up trying to avoid as many shots as possible, blocking one with the carapace but suffering 4 wounds. And he is now injured. Taz sees his friend in trouble and rushes to help him charging the hostile T'au. Once reached the Smurf in front of him, Taz unleashes his anger, making 4 attacks at 4+.
I use the tactical ploy Stand and Fire for 1 command point. Having already the rifle in his hand, Najin uses it in close combat, responding with 4 attacks at 4.
Thanks to his special weapon rule, Taz can reroll all failed rolls. 1 crit and 3 normal hits. That hurts!
Especially considering that I only have 2 normal attacks.
Having charged, I start defending an attack.
Having no chance to survive even by defending himself, Najin instead decides to attack by inflicting 4 wounds to the Tyranid.
With 3 wounds remaining, Taz is injured, but happy.
With 11 wounds, Najin is dead, and is not happy.
The Hormagaunts can be activated in pair, so the next move is Tweety, who goes to consecrate objective 1 and then dashes to hide himself better behind the building.
Ruiso, thanks to the initial dash, is able to reach the objective with a single movement. With the second action, he consecrates the objective, and thanks to the additional action granted by the consecration, Ruiso picks up the rifle and fires on the Tyranid leader. But before firing, I reveal the T'au Ops Mark Target. Basically, if shooting the leader I manage to wound him, I inflict 0 wounds but I gain 1 victory point. Ruiso makes 4 attacks on 4+, 1 critical and 1 normal hit. I use 1 command point to reroll dice to be sure to wound. Another crit, nice!
I need to do at least 2 6s to defend those crits and 4+ for the normal shot. Nothing to do, all 3 goes through. If nothing else, he takes no wounds.
First victory point for me.
In order to get to the objective 2, Bugs Gaunt needs both movements, but to be able to consecrate, he has to use an action. So I spend 1 command point for the tactical ploy Will of the Hive Mind, which gives 1 additional action to a model on my kill team. Then Bugs arrives at the objective and consecrates it by spitting on it. Immediately after, Jerry moves and dashes to hide behind the barrier in front of him, contesting the objective 3.
The Grav Inhibitor drone floats forward, positioning itself behind Ruiso, ready to defend him in case of need.
Duffy Gun follows Jerry behind the barricade, helping him to contest the objective. On the opposite side of the battlefield, Roadrunner runs behind the barrier and hides.
Tendrils climbs over the window and approaches objective 4, then he consecrates it. With the additional action granted by the consecration, he targets the Hormagaunt at the entrance of the building and shoots. 4 shots at 4. Ha! 1 critical and 2 normal hits.
Unfortunately, being in full view, his armor is not enough to protect him from the hoofed fish. Suffering 13 wounds, he collapses to the ground smiling. Spike moves forward and positions himself where he can comfortably spit acid on his target. 4 hits at 2+. Each crit deals 1 additional mortal wound to the target and all models within 2 inches from him.
Thanks to the ability Savior Protocols, the drone throws itself forward to protect the T'au by taking the shots in its place.
2 normal hits and 1 critical.
With only 2 successes, the critical hit passes. Completely covered in acid, the drone suffers 3 normal wounds and 1 mortal wound, while the T'au only 1 mortal wound. The drone is injured, or should I say damaged, I guess. Reckless is located within 3 inches of the side edge of the field, so it carries out the triangulation action. Then it sets his ray rifle on a barrel for better aim, and fires on the warrior in front of him, 4 shots at 4+. The ray rifle does critical hit with 5, so it's 2 normal hits and 1 critical.
With penetration -1, I can only roll 2 defense dice. Being in cover, 1 dice automatically passes and the second one is successful too. 6 wounds to Spike. Damn it, he only has 12 left. Kenny sees the T'au leader without cover and hurries to shoot him. He moves to have a clean line of sight and fires 5 shots at 3, hitting 2 critical and 1 normal.
Come on, Sushi, show them your arm. What is that?
Nah, it's just me turning on the grill.
Just out of curiosity, in your opinion, are you cooking fish or meat?
Tyranids don't care, as long as it's edible. Having eliminated the enemy leader in the first round, I revealed the Attack Ops Headhunter, earning 2 victory points.
R2-D2 aims its burst cannon at the Tyranid leader and fires 6 shots at 4+ at him. Just 2 hits.
1 defense dice automatically saves thanks to the cover, and with a magnificent 6, the second shot is saved as well.
With a disapproving whistle, R2-D2 uses the skill Analyze, choosing the enemy leader as a target and Yesil as an ally. The T'au with the ray rifle can take his turn immediately after the drone and will be able to reroll all failed hit dice against the targeted Tyranid. Yesil moves through the window to get inside of the warrior leader, and after aiming the ray rifle at him, opens fire. 4 shots at 4+. I can reroll the 2 thanks to the drone's ability. 2 crits and 1 normal hit.
Ouch! I only have 2 defense dice for the -1 penetration, of which 1 passes automatically, and with the second I have to do a 6. Ah, too bad. 12 wounds including 4 mortal wounds on Kenny. Down to 7 wounds and he's injured. Tom knows that he has to run faster than the T'au to stop him from consecrating the objective, so he charges the blue thing on objective 4. Being injured, Tom does 4 attacks at 5+.
Tendrils responds with 4 attacks at 5-2. And with a pretty good roll!
Rerolling all, at least 1 hit. And with that dice, Tom defends an attack, suffering only 2 wounds and staying alive. Plus, he is contesting the objective. Then, Hormagaunts runs and dashes behind the barricade near objective 2.
Vrenui can shoot at the Tyranid near objective 4 because he's in close combat, so he moves and dashes close to the objective to secure it.
Fearlessly, Little John runs forward, not caring about cover.
Tesla, being 3 inches from the edge of the table, performs the second triangulation action and earns 1 victory point. Guys, in the situation I find myself in, I have 2 options available. Accept that the Tyranids take control of the objective and therefore 1 victory point for them, or try to contest it and take the lead. It's a risky move, but I think it's worth it. Tesla bravely moves beyond the window and positions himself next to objective 2, waiting for his teammates to reach it.
Little John, smiling, watches as the little T'au runs towards the objective and takes aim. As soon as he stops, he spits a fountain of acid on him thanks to the Overwatch action. 4 shots at 3 for the -1 to hit of the Overwatch, 2 critical and a normal shot.
With those 2 critics, I doubt I can do anything, since he saves at 5+. Here, as expected. Great! My plan died before I could even put it into practice. Since I no longer have the possibility to contest the objective, I have to put myself in a defensive position, and the drone positions itself in order to defend the ray rifle.
Not happy with the first roll, Spike overwatches and spits on his beloved targets once again. 4 more hits at 3 this time, 1 crit and 3 normal hits.
The drone takes the acid in place of the T'au and tries to defend itself at 4+. Ah, what a pity! He had almost succeeded. The drone finally collapses to the ground, while the T'au suffers another wound due to the Tyranid's weapon ability. Kylo is the last remaining T'au to be activated and moves into a less dangerous position, moving as far from the Tyranids as possible. In his current position, he faces a Tyranid that thinks he is covered, but in reality, due to the particular shape of the building, it is not at all. So Kylo aims at him with his rifle and fires 4 shots at 4, one of which passes automatically thanks to the ability of the Pulse Accelerator drone next to him. Nice roll.
I need 6 to save. Oh, apparently Tweet is perfectly hidden.
Okay, I can see that the situation is quite annoying. The fact that the Hormagaunts are all hidden from the sight of the T'au has allowed them to advance undisturbed towards the objectives, and the warriors have 18 wounds each. 18! If nothing else, I managed to get 3 victory points thanks to Objective 4 and 2 tacos. Next turn, I need to be able to do as much damage as possible and remove as many Tyranids from the battlefield as I can. Fortunately, I still have a lot of firepower at my disposal.
What can I say? This round couldn't have gone better. I earned 4 victory points thanks to 2 consecrated objectives and Attack Ops Headhunter. Also, I already have control of 3 objectives, and my Tyranids have eliminated several T'au, thus facilitating my advance. In the next round, I can charge, and I will have a lot of fun there. My Tyranids are hungry.
Initiative roll. 4 is a nice number.
1 is not, but that's okay for me. In this strategic phase, we both gain a command point. Then I use again deploy Stalk for 1 command point. Roadrunner runs and lurks behind the wall.
I activate the Attack Ops Vantage, which gives my operatives the opportunity to do a Vantage action in a, guess what? Vantage point. If I manage to do so, I will earn 1 victory point.
I reveal the Attack Ops Hold the Line. At the end of any turning point, if there are no enemy operatives within 6 inches of my drop zone, I score 1 victory point.
R2-D2 tries his luck again and fires the burst cannon at the nearest warrior, making 6 shots at 4. Reroll the 1 thanks to the weapon's ability. Someone has to recalibrate the aim of this drone.
1 shot is automatically saved, so I just need a 6 or 2 4+. Easy!
Even more disappointed than before, R2-D2 uses the skill Analyze, always targeting the leader and activating the next round of the T'au near the objective tree. Ruizo is in an extremely uncomfortable and dangerous position, and moreover, he does not have control of the objective, so he cannot carry out the consecration action. With cold blood, he throws himself over the window away from the Tyranids. Once safely behind the barrier, he targets the enemy leader and shoots. 4 shots at 4. Rerolling the trees thanks to the skill of the drone. 3 hits.
I absolutely have to defend them in order not to concede the victory point to Simone. 1 shot through.
The Tyranid does not suffer any wounds, but I gain another victory point, reaching 4. Well done, Ruizo.
Nice try. But Spike has his eye on his dinner and charges. As soon as he arrives, he rolls 5 attacks on 3. Hitting 3, of which 1 is a crit.
Unfortunately, there is nothing I can do to save him, because Andrea made 1 crit and he starts the fight.
With 6 damage, Spike hits it whole, earning me 2 victory points for the Attack Ops challenge.
I guess it's not a pretty sight to see.
Sated, Spike regenerates D3 wounds thanks to feeder Tendrils. Only 1. Third dice coming.
Yesil still has the leader of the Tyranids in sight and keeps firing on him. Having already completed the Attack Ops, I can finally do damage. 4 shots at 4+ with the rail rifle. Okay, today's shots are starting to be annoying for me.
I need a 4+ to defend the critical since I already have a saved dice. 3, not okay. Reroll with a command point. Damn! He's left with 1 wound.
Really? 1 wound left? Yesil approaches Objective 4 to make sure everything is fine there.
In the second round, I change the order to Bugscount, who consecrates the Objective 2 by spitting on it again, and then charges his meal with the big gun. Once he passes through the window, he throws himself on the T'au and makes 5 attacks on 4, thanks to the consecration.
I need the rail rifle to stay alive, so I use deploy Stand and Fire for 1 command point to use his ranged weapon in combat.
Wow, I think Bugs is pretty hungry.
What can I say, guys? Today the god of dice seems to favor the Tyranids. Have you ever seen a meat goo? Fish goo? Meat? I don't know.
I changed the order to Roadrunner as well to make him charge. Once around the corner, he spots the drone hidden behind the wall and targets it with 4 attacks at 4. Reroll the 1. Still hurts.
I know, guys, that you are suffering with me. I can feel your pain.
No, stop it! You cannot eat the drone!
Having more companions close to Objective 4, Tendui has the possibility of carrying out the consecration action. Then, he continues to fight against the Hormagaunt, making 4 attacks at 5+ thanks to the consecration.
Even if I hit them all, Simone starts the fight first, and with that crit, he takes out my poor Tom.
Not satisfied yet, Tendui turns his attention to the leader of the Tyranids and, thanks to the additional action granted by the consecration, fires 4 shots at 4. Only 1 crit has hit.
So, 1 dice automatically passes, therefore I have to roll at least a 4+ with 2 dice.
No! Kenny! Wow! I didn't expect this!
Look, Mom! 5 finally got the toy! Little John, having lost the leader, gets angry and decides to take revenge by spitting acid on the first T'au he meets. He looks out from the window and... what's there? A T'au looking the other way. 4 hits at 2. 4 hit with a lot of crits.
One dice automatically saves thanks to the cover. But the others are not enough. Another T'au greets us. Reckless feels that his team is being blown away despite his excellent performance and desperately tries to save the day. After moving into a better position, he takes aim at the Hormagaunt in front of him and fires 4 shots at 4+, with the possibility of making critical hits with 5. In this game, I have the feeling of rolling d3s instead of d6s.
Let's try to save the critical attack with a critical defense. Roadrunner is too fast for you. But he still takes 2 mortal wounds for the crit. Tweety consecrates objective 1 and hides better, this time lining up with the wolf. Daffygaunt consecrates objective 3 and then moves and dashes through the window, ready to contest T'au's objectives.
Vrenui moves towards the central objective, trying not to pass near the Hormagaunt, then reaching his position consecrates the objective and fills himself with new energy and then uses it to shoot at the foul beast next to him. 4 hits at 4. 2 successful hits.
Ouch! Consecration gives me 1 additional defense dice, so 4 dice at 6 to save. Too bad. Bugs is benched. Shocked, Hormagaunts approaches the T'au, seeking revenge for Bugs. Meanwhile, Jerry gets closer to the objective tree to check the consecrated decks.
I am trying so hard to fight both the Tyranids and my own dice rolls, and the result so far is not encouraging, but we T'au do not lose heart. The next round I absolutely have to get the initiative and take out every Hormagaunt in sight so I can catch my breath and get back into the game. It won't be easy, but I'll try my best. Meanwhile, with the 2 consecrated objectives that I control and the Tacop's marked target, I reach 6 victory points.
At the end of the second turn, I earn 3 victory points for the Tac Ops Hold the Line and Challenge, and another 3 victory points for the consecrated objectives controlled, reaching 10 victory points. Not too much above Simone, but still ahead. In the next round, my Tyranids will try to hit the last remaining T'au, thus ensuring the safety of their brood. Third round.
Rolling for initiative. Oh no.
Oh yeah! Since Simone had the initiative the previous round, with a tie, the initiative goes to me. Then, in the strategic phase, we both gain 1 common point, and having no more Tac Ops to reveal, we proceed to the next phase. Pike is still hungry, so he charges the T'au nearby and tries to devour him by making 5 attacks on 3. What can I say?
Don't say anything, please.
With 1 of my crits, I defend Simone's only successful shot and inflict 12 damage on the T'au with the other 2.
Don't worry, I know it's not your fault, little blue guy.
After that, while he chews the victim, Pike recovers the 3 wounds thanks to feeder Tendrils. Just 1, again.
Reckless does not give up and tries to fight till the end. He advances to the window, spots the Hormagaunt, and then fires 4 shots at 4 on him. 1 crit and 1 normal hit.
Daffygaunt saves with 2 dice at 6 due to the -1 penetration. 6! He's injured, but still alive! Daffy is angry. Very angry. He then charges the T'au with binoculars. Having an ally with synapses within 6 inches, Daffy ignores the injury malus and makes 4 attacks on 4. Fortunately, he can reroll all the dice.
Guess who can't reroll them? Having failed all my attacks, Tendrils collapses lifeless to the ground. You were the best of all. You live with honor. And the last hope of winning the game also goes with him.
Finally, my Tyranids are sated and win the game. I must say that this is the first time that I have rolled all these 6s in one game, and this gave me a considerable advantage. The Tyranids in the new kill team are quite strong. The warriors with 18 wounds are something monstrous. Literally. All in all, this game was a lot of fun to play.
Of course it was! You rolled both your dice and mine! Sure, I could have avoided the reckless actions like trying to control objective 2, which was clearly in your hands, but with a bit more of decent dice rolls, the game would have been more contested. The conceal orders on the Hormagaunts have certainly put me in difficulty. Perhaps I should have immediately found a vantage position in order to deny you the possibility of hiding. In any case, nice game. And with this we conclude. As I told you at the beginning of the video, we will need your help to give a name to the Hormagaunts fire team. If you want to have the possibility to name it, write your suggestion in the comments. We will choose the names we like the most and we'll do a community poll so that you can choose between them the final name of the unit. We can't wait to see what names you will choose.
If you like our content and want to help us grow the channel, we have opened an account on the platform Buy Me a Coffee, where you can support us with donations. Any help you can give us to improve the channel is welcome. We are counting on you. The link is in the description, and if you have come this far, write the word FISH in the comments to let us know. You are the best, and if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you liked the video, leave a like and write us in the comments. We are always curious to know what you think.
That's it, guys!
See you next video!